So, I decided to do something a bit different. Been playing Splatoon 3 for a while. So I figured I'd do a bit of a walk and talk about what I see going for the game in the community. It's an interesting state right now. Oh, by the way, have fun looking at my ugly mug for the first time. Get used to it. The neighborhood's not bad, though. Nice and country if you're into that. But it's quiet at least. Anyway, I come from a competitive background. Semi-competitive, really, but whatever. Then I got into the game about a year late around the SpongeBob Splatfest. S1. And oh, damn, there's a lot of glare on this. I wonder how it'll come out. But I want to say I played it for about a month before joining the Invaders. Well, not joining. We formed that thing together. I was one of the founders with 5 other people. We played that competitively for about a year. I pretty much just enjoyed it, but that endgame meta freaking sucked. Like, people bitch about QR SJ, but it was really the QR that ruined it, not the SJ, but leave it to the devs to not know what people... The problem is they nerfed stealth jump in the next 2 games, so there's no point in using it. Thankfully, they somewhat nerfed QR, but I guess I'll take that trade. Anyway, I hated that in-game meta, but I can still go back to S1 and enjoy it. S2, on the other hand, and this is why I'm also concerned with the future of S3. I was with my team for about 4 years into that. We played through a lot of tournaments. We've seen a lot of meta changes. More importantly, a lot of fail patching. Bad fail patching. Now, you're going to ask, well, why'd you leave the team? Well, no, it's not because of that. Something happened. I'm not going to get into what. Probably best to just leave that be for now, unless certain people know who they are, start spreading their narrative again. But I don't see that happening, so I doubt my side will ever be told, nor will I need to. I will say this, though. If you are leading a squad, do not start taking care of them or treating them like you're their family. They will turn on you. And if they don't turn on you, they will quit. Not saying to run it like a conventional team, because those things will last for about a year on average. Just find a good balance, but just don't get too attached. Take it from me. That was not a good time. I don't ever want to go through it again. But anyway, back to S2. I actually enjoyed that game. I had a lot of fun during the test fire, and I enjoyed that game on launch. Sure, there were some issues like the inkjet exhaust. And the inkjets having really wonky hitboxes, but the Stingray was also obviously a piece of shit. That thing needed a buff, but they buffed it the wrong way. What they should have done is increase the damage a bit and give it a reticle so you could actually aim the damn thing. And maybe increase the speed it moved, but nope. They made it to the point where it's almost a necessity to have on some modes. And it took them forever to make it so it forced you outside the spawn shield, because that was fun. Having to see someone jump back to the spawn. And, well, better get off the damn tower, or, well, there goes the Rainmaker. And then there's the damn missiles, which I will get into that in a bit. But the other thing they did is just they they nerfed damn near everything that wasn't a shooter. Buff shooters, so the in-game meta was, you use a shooter, you're fucked. And if you got a backline, you have to run the V-Jet, usually, or in some cases the heavy, usually the one with the bomb, but unless you were a damn good charger, and a damn good charger, you're just going to get missiled to death. And the devs were just, I don't know what it is, if they were listening to the comp community too much, or at least the Japanese comp community, because they didn't give a shit about us. Whatever they did or didn't do, I really hope they don't do it with S3. S3's had a good start, and the few balance patching it's gotten so far, I actually agree with, because fizzy spam is annoying as hell. Honestly, I think the 10 missile weapons need more charge nerf, but whatever. But so far the balance honestly isn't bad. I wish they would buff the ballpoint a bit, because especially since the Nautilus is already existing in the game, its use of its charge reset ability just doesn't change the fact that while it does have versatile ability, it's just not feasible. You got your Nautilus for the safe charge and the charge cancel, and the mini for quick moving close range / special spam. And then obviously if you want an actual backline, you're better off with the heavy or the Hydra. And boy, am I glad the Hydra is easier to... I keep hearing that they didn't actually touch the weapon, but it feels different in this game. I can actually use it. I actually was a Hydra main in S1. S2, I used it for a while before I ceded it to a teammate. Not going to get into that, but... how do I say this? You can actually use these charger weapons in S3. Charger weapons, heavies, Hydras again. Let's not go back. I hope they don't start fail patching everything to where we're back to shooters or nothing. Although blasters have made a comeback as rollers, because armor spam was a thing. There's another thing that S2 failed at. That was not a fun meta. Double armor, triple armor even. Well, triple armor, you fuck yourself half the time, but either way, armor spam made some weapons just damn near useless. And even the weapons that were, that was not fun to deal with. I have some issues with my invincibility specials from the first game because they were panic buttons, but it's better than the armor spam half the time. But anyways, back to S3. This neighborhood. Like I said, it's quiet. The suck thing is, can't get decent internet around here that isn't cell data, but what can you do? Boy, my old internet was so bad. I was constant disconnects, and you talk... Are you people that say the netcode makes people one-shot you, or your shots take 6 hits? Let me tell you, do not do that shit on DSL. That is not fun. But anyway, I've had having a lot of fun with S3. Whether it's unless I'm going back to play the single player, I ain't never touching that yet. I can go back and play S1 occasionally, because Inkzuka is a lot more fun than Trizuka. I don't care what people say. You know, plus some of the original maps in the original state are pretty good. Pissing around with the dual squelcher can be fun, the original dual squelcher, but that's more of a novelty. Now, putting the crap campaign aside, which is the main reason why I will never say that this is the definitive Splatoon experience. It was definitely the definitive multiplayer experience at its current state. But that campaign... Boy, there was so much retconning in the lore, and taking the Octo expansion approach of having a beginning and an end, and then the middle just all this portal test facility crap was just... I didn't like it in the expansion, but the difficulty and the diversity of the stages kept it interesting. The first time playing it, mind you. Replays, not so much. But S3's campaign, whew, the fact that it has tutorial level difficulty in basically the first game through those type of stages with no story practically between them just makes it a tedious and boring experience. They're not fun to play apart from a select few stages. The only time I really enjoyed it was the crater, which, yeah, I know those stages are really easy, but I'll take a fun maze through that over the shit they did in the Alterna. Plus, you know, that music was banger. I don't care what people say. That's the one good part about the single player music, was that that's the best version of the S1, or not S1, the level 1 theme from Turquoise October does. That shit was banger. And then the climb up the rocket at the end was pretty good. Not as good as what I like to call Wily Tower, and all you Mega Man fans will know what I'm talking about with the Octo expansions in-game. And it crashes right back down again, because that final boss, really, I won't say spoilers of what it is for those who haven't played, but really? You're gonna make him the villain for no reason? And what did he gain from it? Just turning everyone to furries. What does that accomplish? Okay. Stupid. That was a really disappointing end to whatever this story's arc is. No questions answered, no more backgrounds on the Octarians. Yeah, I know DLC is coming, but I get the feeling that's just half of that's gonna be, what's it called? Mind fog. Off the hook coming back doing really stupid shit. And then, you know, that's going to lead to the Twitterites going on about how Pearline is canon. Yeah, fuck off. Hey, there's a good point, by the way. There's part of the reason I'm afraid of this game is throughout S2, I noticed something. S1 had a pretty decent community. It had its bad points here and there, but it was spread out through Twitter, Tumblr. That's not a good thing. The Amino, fan sites, yada yada, Discord. But once S2 hit, most of the community became based off of Twitter. And I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on, Twitter is toxic as hell. So naturally, most of the community is toxic. Like, I'll take the kids screaming about my mom, or their mom for that matter, on Call of Duty, or Halo, or even Counter-Strike, honestly, at times was better than the Splatoon community. They're toxic. People on those games are constantly talking about your mom, their mom, the N-word. Twitter, on the other hand, is the Splatoon community. You talk about cancel culture. And the worst part is that cancel culture, so much of it is on a case-by-case basis, but there's always favoritism of who gets canceled, who doesn't. Just read about the Splat safety drama if you don't believe me. And I don't even want to get started how that's home base for the Perlina twats. But look at that house over there. I kind of want that house was for sale not too long ago. I'd buy it. But I digress. I try to avoid getting on Twitter because holy shit, the comp people act like they're the hot shit. They know everything and they know how to fix the game. And never mind, they're the same people that are in favor of missiles coming back. It's already been not fun with just 3 weapons. And the casual community saying how comp people ruin the game. And then there's cancel culture's rampant. And what worries me is this is who NOA has decided to cater to. Don't believe me? Well, the reports function is more, how do I say, active than it was in S2. But now, instead of just reporting posts, you should also report user splash tags. Guess what? People are using that to grief. How do I know this? It happened to me. I never had a problem with my username for the past 3 games. I've used it on other sites, other systems. But now all of a sudden, I get banned from Nintendo because people reported me. People reported me after the Splatfest. You know what I was doing in the Splatfest? Actually pretty good. I can't show my digital e-ping because I didn't play hardcore mode or whatever the fuck it's called. I only play with friends, but most of the squads I ran with them did pretty good. There's a construction site over there. I don't know what they're building, but the day after the Splatfest ends, I get the email that my account's banned. Oh, truck. That's loud. My account's banned for 2 weeks, 14 days. Because people are griefing. And then there's also the regular idiots that don't have a dictionary. Guess what? That ain't racist. Get over it. Urban Dictionary doesn't count, okay? But anyway, I get the message. I call up NOA. Well, I didn't call them. First, I went through their text system of talking to someone over the internet. That person was actually pretty nice. She tried. Actually understood me. She tried, but their only repercussion was talking to their division that handles that shit directly. So I called them up. This guy, if you want more proof that NOA is trash and the biggest of Nintendo's problems, this douchebag, boy, I've never dealt with a customer service that was a bigger asshole than this. He just sits there and goes, well, change your name. Well, change your name. How can I change my name if I'm banned? Well, 14 days old. No, you're not listening to me. I got griefed on, and I'd be happy to change my name, but I can't do that right now. Well, your 14 days are up, bro. And I actually got to the point where, after this back and forth, he, by the way, did confirm that it's not an algorithm handling these bans. It's a person, so more proof that they don't care. The person just took one glance on it, banned. Didn't think to look at a dictionary or actually look at my name. Just probably saw 2 letters that were too close to each other. It's like, oh, banned. He didn't give a shit. But at one point he said, well, maybe you need to take it up with the people that banned you. First of all, these bans are anonymous, and it's not like I can go to them, hey, can you call up Nintendo and tell them to unban me, bro? Really? And this guy had the most patronizing tone I've ever heard talking to me like I'm one of his kids. I was about ready to call back and get a supervisor and report the guy, but at that point, I was just too pissed off. Anyways, band's over. I have to change my name, yada yada. I killed some of my drive to play solo, but I'm still going. I still like the game. But for all you people on Twitter that say, oh, they're banning people that deserve it. No, they're fucking not. They're just waiting until they collect enough reports of whether or not they're just or not to hit the ban button. So, for all you people griefing, you're the problem. Anyways, back to S3. Well, S3's multiplayer. I'll just stop bitching about the single player. But that single player is a big reason why I will never consider that the definitive experience. Even though S1's campaign was short and easy, it was at least somewhat enjoyable. I had a great final boss. S2's campaign, bad final boss, but the campaign itself was more challenging, more diverse. Some interesting twists. I don't care what Corby says about the Sheldon requests. And then the Octo expansion was hit and miss. Pretty good overall. But S3 can go screw itself with that campaign. Anyway, I'm worried that they're going to start nerfing this thing to hell to back. Like they did with 2. And then we'll go back to one meta, one set of weapons. Everybody has to have this special or you're fucked. Thankfully there's no armor, so that won't be a problem, but I'm worried the Tenta-Missile will replace that. Everybody's going to have Tenta-Missile. Yesterday I was playing with a friend. We played through 2 rotations. Every single match we had somebody was either using the Flingza, which, to be fair, isn't a bad weapon, or the reflex bow. That is a bad weapon, and it's basically a bow mixed with an arrow spray, so all it's good for is rapid painting for special spam, and that special happens to be 10 missiles. I had to switch back to an aggressive weapon because I could not backline because constant missile spam. And there were times when we get to the damn thing, so that was fun. I hope why they brought 10 missiles back into the game, I don't know. I don't think they should have brought the jet back either. The bomb and the hammer, sure, because they were only on 4 weapons. And the hammer needed with some adjustments, could have been pretty decent. Why they nerfed it at launch, I have no idea. But it's gotten better, thankfully, with that recent patch. It's feasible again. It's fun to use. But jet and missiles did not need to come back, even if they're only on like 2 or 3 weapons each. And I'm hoping they keep putting missiles on crap weapons. If they're gonna keep them in the game, I'd prefer they get rid of them completely. But what are they gonna do? Just change it out for something else? But at least that means if they keep putting on crap weapons, or at least incredibly niche weapons, they'll have to take the time to learn it, or have to sacrifice good KD or paint count just to be able to spam missiles. Which, I guess you could use the big bubbler as a sort of protection against that, but that only has its limits. It's not on any backline weapons yet. I get the feeling the custom Hydra will have big bubbler. Probably big bubbler sprinkler, but who knows. I'd be okay with that. Main problem with the regular Hydra is the Booyah Bomb combo is great, but the Auto Bomb, not the worst thing they could put on it. I am not a hater of Auto Bombs. I find them fairly useful in their own way, even if their kill potential is, as Ian will put it, not a lethal bomb, but I don't know, it just didn't suit the weapon. Better than what they did with the ballpoint, giving a freaking fizzy. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but they need to be slapped. Thanks, Nogami. Hopefully Nogami's taking his head out of his ass and actually paying attention to what's going on instead of just catering to a small minority or just going, nerf everything. That isn't a shooter. But, anyways, the other specials, missiles and jet aside, most of them are kind of fun. Big Bubbler's not fun, but hey, it's a tactical special. Same with the Tacticooler. They're useful, but they're not particularly fun. You take your pick. Although I love how so many people are trying to run Respawn Punisher, even the front lines, ignoring the fact that that's a double-edged sword, just because, ooh, Tacticooler. Brother, I honestly find the special Respawn and the fact that the damn thing can't be destroyed more offensive than the QR part of it. That thing needs some changes, but I think with the right changes, the Tacticooler could actually be pretty balanced and a good complementary to, as a good complementary tactical special to a competitive comp. I don't know what the meta is right now competitive. I have not been playing that. The closest I have is series because I no longer have a team backing me because certain things happened. Just I don't really know enough people to get back into that, and I'm not really in the mood to start from scratch with people I don't know. But we'll see. Anyways, the crab has some jank to it. Like, there are times where I'll be shooting at the front, from the front with a splat line and trying to hit the pilot and it won't do shit. But when I'm using the damn thing, I'll get killed from the front. It's like, okay. And it's got some weird hitboxes. Those hitboxes fixed just so it can really only be hit from the side and the back. I think would be better. But it's kind of fun to use. Honestly, it's more of a terror weapon because when you see it, you kind of avoid getting shot by it. So you're not going to get as many kills using it if the other team is smart. Unless you just put it out in a really good location to where they don't have time to react. That's fun. Tri-Zuka is infuriating Zuka. I don't care what people say. 3 shots and the arcing. I hate having to aim down a bit because half the time it just goes right over them. And there are times, and I can't just aim at their feet because the splash damage sucks. And there's times where I've clearly seen it go through someone and they don't die because apparently with the netcode the way it is, if it misses on their screen, if you see it hit on yours, it's just not going to do anything. Okay. But other than that, I think the specials are so much better in this game because they're potent but still punishable. The roof slider needs some adjustments. Because that is basically Splashdown 2.0. Out of forest area. So, I don't know. I'm happy with it so far. I'm really looking forward to seeing some alt kits because some of the weapons are just unusable because their kits are bad, like the ballpoint. Of course, I don't know how to fix the ballpoint. I like to see a better kit for the Hydra. The current kit's pretty decent, but again, not auto bomb. Not my thing for that weapon. I like using auto bomb. I like it's something I can spam it with like a junior. I'm gonna laugh. The custom junior comes with raid auto bomb again. Of course, it's not as easy to bomb spam because the extended tank is no longer a thing. Well, that's probably for the better because double bomb got annoying as shit. Or double splat bomb anyway. Oh yeah, the netcode. How are we 3 games in and somehow gotten... Well, it's been on and off with the disconnects. I have problems getting in the games, but I don't get disconnected nearly as much. I don't see as many disconnects in games, so I guess that's an improvement. But the netcode itself, it's just as bad as it was in S2. Yeah, you see the one-shotting, teleporting, vertical teleports, people taking about 20 hits to die, delayed hit count, people shooting after they die. Still there. We're 3 games in and we're paying for this shit. Why? And the tick rate is still just as bad. Why would they put dedicated servers on if they're still going to keep the same awful, like, what is it, 15, 20 tick rate that S2 had? And S3, or S1, the original game, still has the best tick rate out of all of them. Why? I don't know, because Nogami's an idiot. And Japanese. Call me racist if you want, or shit when it comes to online infrastructure, even though their actual online infrastructure is pretty good. But gaming infrastructure is terrible. I don't know what it is. They just cannot netcode. Of course, Japanese programming is already a bit of it. But who knows? But anyway, it's interesting to see what happens with Rank X and League with adding to the rotations. Of course, I don't like the fact that we now have rank degrading. So if you want to stay... Everybody's rank is going to reset to S+0. So all those people that grinded to 50, hope you enjoyed that. That sucks. I've been kind of trudging my way to 10 so I can play X out of the gate just once. Missed out on that last time because fuck, having to get my rank up to S+10 4 times. Especially on Clan Blitz. I love Clan Blitz as a team game. I'm glad it came back. But playing in its solo queue, that ain't fun. You have to play as a team to enjoy that mode. But what you do, it's honestly pretty good. It's just unfortunate a lot of maps, especially in S2, just weren't designed well for it. Of course, a lot of them could have been fixed if they just moved the damn goal. But would they do that? Nah, that's too... That actually requires effort. That's too easy. I suspect we'll see some redesign stages at some point. Fixing some of the Rainmaker or Clan Blitz stuff that goes on. I heard... I'm glad Museum came back and it was unfucked, but man, what they did to Mahi, it's practically a different stage. I like the new Mahi, but outside of Tower Control, I think the old one was better. Well, Tower Control was Rainmaker. Zones and Turf, the old one was way better. Maybe they're just afraid they can do Clan Blitz on the old one, I don't know. But I'm worried that... Oh, yeah, Hammerhead. I was afraid of that one too because I despise that one hammerhead, but the new one's alright. It's not great. It's alright. I'm afraid that Flounder Heights is going to come back because I hated that stage. I don't hate it as much as Moray. When I see that kid come back, I'm going to be pissed. Fuck Moray. Fuck all the people who voted for it and made it the Smash representation. Freaking Charger users. Anyway, I hate Flounder. It's a great Rainmaker stage, but everything else is terrible. It's not fun on turf. It's a nightmare on tower. The zones kind of sucked, even if it is a 2-zone stage. I'm looking forward to seeing more 2-zone stages because most of the S3 stages are pretty decent, but there's one that stands out, and I think everybody knows which one it is. Spillway is awful. But it's one saving grace. It's the only 2-zone map, so that kind of makes it a bit interesting on zones. Still bad, but at least it's interesting. The other modes, avoid it if you can. Unless you have to practice for it for comp play. But don't play it on solo. It's not fun. I think that about covers it. Obviously, they're going to keep doing the same thing they did with S2, raising the ink cost of this, lowering the ink cost of that special, changing the cooldown charge-up times, tweaking specials. And again, I'm looking forward to the new alt sets to come out, although I wish they were coming out once a week instead of all at once through these packages. We don't know how many weapons we're going to get once the catalog resets. Hopefully the devs have to keep their damn word this time and give us 3 sets for every weapon instead of just, well, we're gonna have 3 sets for all weapons, then half the weapons only had 2, and then new specials only got put on 4 weapons. That was a great idea. New subs. So as far as the new weapons go, Reflex Bow is trash. The other bow, on the other hand, is actually pretty potent if, and it's a big if, you can learn it. Because that thing does have a learning curve. Same with the Splatana. The regular one you could probably pick up and go, but the stamp one, I've heard some people say it's worse. Some people say it's more competitively viable. I don't really know. I don't touch those things much. Stamp one definitely has more of a learning curve. The regular one feels more like a brush with range. Honestly, rather just use a brush, but the stamp one I kind of want to learn. Who knows? That covers it. Yeah, well, not that Nogami's ever going to watch this, but if you do, don't fuck up. I do not want to see this game turn into what S2 did with its metas and its fail patching, nor do I want to see the toxic ass community ruin it like they did with S2. Boy, did I get a lot of indirect hate for no reason, just because of my name, not because of how I played, what I did, because I treated my friends well in that game. I took care of my team, and I got labeled as a hater, a bigot, you name it, an abuser. That was my favorite one. So hopefully the community spreads out a bit, and doesn't centralize on Twitter. That would probably do it some good, but who knows? It's already been more or less, I don't want to say corrupted, but taken over by certain points of views, thanks to Twitter. Which is part of the reason I just don't know if I'll ever get back into comp. I don't really like playing turf that much because I hate the new version of Now or Never. I hate it. I kind of liked it at first, but the more I hear it, the more I hate it. I cannot play turf because I hate it that much. It's worse than Off the Hooks Now or Never, and that's saying something. But I do like the other Splatfest music. I like the Splatfest version of Now or Never. So that's about, unless I'm just doing a couple rounds just to play with a weapon I don't normally use, I just don't touch turf. I usually do 1 set of series a day, and then stick to open, preferably with a friend. That's actually pretty fun. Salmon Run is a lot better than it used to be. The new bosses and wave types have some variety, but Fat Bastard and his scales do get some extra rewards. I wish there were more of them, and the skill dividends were higher, but I don't know. I don't really want to comment much on Salmon Run other than just say it's better. But yeah, that's about it. Hopefully they don't patch it to hell, and hopefully the community doesn't ruin it. So, oh, that's not good. Anyways, want to see this again, let me know. Maybe we'll do Kirby or something.